Good night, guys. How are you doing? So today we will continue. We're on day 4 on our 30-day Rise Up Challenge with Rebecca. And it's been going great so far. So we give thanks. We're going to be continuing on joy today. A feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Thank you very much for all the persons joining us. Hi, Crystal. How are you doing? Hi, Natalie. All right, come on in, guys, so we can have a brief talk today. Just that all you are enjoying your weekend so far. So we're gonna pick up on the joy. So in our day-to-day life, we have several experiences, and we have the power and the energy to shift the energy when we enter a room, when we enter the office, when we enter an event, because the energy that we may meet there may not be so positive, but we have the power to change that energy into a positive one, so people can start feeling whether it's calm again, they can be more confident, they can be less anxious because now they feel that they're on their goal, they're on their pathway, and suddenly they can just move to a higher heights. Because sometimes our presence, the level is of that magnitude, especially if we're vibrating at a high energy, we can transition some of these energy into others in our surrounding at the time. So we ask that you be intentional today in terms of the joy. How are you practicing joy? Or when we have these events, even when we're on the street, just riding to work, we may be shouting at the next vehicle in front of us, the vehicle behind us may be trying something crazy, but we can choose in that very moment to have peace and just let it flow. Not that you have nowhere to go, you have somewhere to go, but you choose to be peaceful in the situation. Joy can be you doing something that makes you really happy. You can do something, maybe just reading a book. It can be just relaxing for the weekend. It can be just you taking a few hours to just focus on yourself, do some healthcare, or going to a sporting event. These works as well. So you can slide on into that. While we are, continuing on our goals that we have written down the end of 2020 to the beginning of 2021. While we're on our path, we are finding our purpose. We'll definitely, we'll be doing the art of serving others. So it's up to us to recognize it. People would have gone ahead of us in our different purpose pathway to made a way for us, whether it is in a specific industry, whether if it's in a specific skill set, people would have gone and would have done a lot of work. So when we go on these purpose, and God would have placed different people in our pathway to teach us and to help groom us. Sometimes we just surrender, allow it to flow. Once it is helpful, we're feeling that we're growing. Once we would have evaluated the situation, then we can continue to serve these individuals, whether it's in our managers at our workplace, it can be our elders, it can be people in different institutions, or even in the church. So different institutions, so you choose where you're at and find somebody to serve. It can be just in our family. We have our parents, we have our bosses, we have our wife, we have our husbands. So we can choose to serve in different areas. And even as a housewife, you may be serving in tremendous ways already. So continue on this path. Learning to serve, it's an art. Especially if you're doing it with gratitude and out of respect, because you're either really wanting to learn, or you see somebody that have a skill set that you think that this skill will make you better. You can choose to serve in that order, or to submit and serve, so you can then learn, and then from there you can go for it. So while we're serving these different individuals or in a leadership position, once we're aware, it can help us in the long run for when we choose to be, to make a bigger commitment, like in a marriage, or we go on to be in a leadership position. So these are some of the things now that we can observe, the art of serving. Not that you're going into a situation or an institution to take over somebody's position, but sometimes, depending on the order, we will need to recognize the hierarchy and serve accordingly, and the respect while we go, because these people would have been here before us. So that is my word for you today. Reflect, and what brings you joy, whether it's this week or this evening. Reflect on what brings you joy and be intentional about how you can create joy in your own space, even if you're not currently doing it. And while we're on our purpose part, or while we're trying to find our purpose, let's try to find somebody to serve, or observe who we are currently serving now to see if we're getting any growth from it or any help. Maybe we need to switch it up a bit and put our energy elsewhere. But do recognize who we are serving, and once you would have recognized that you're serving somebody or that you want to serve, you can then choose to serve in a loving manner. You can choose to serve in a happy mode. You can choose to serve by being peaceful, or it can just be high via, it can just be serving through cooperation. So these are the many things that you can do to serve. Tomorrow is going to be day 5 of our 30-day challenge, of where I will be going live to share some nuggets with you. Tomorrow we're going to be talking a bit about signs, and signs in terms of what you can look for, how to identify that you're on the right pathway. And also we're going to be talking a bit about certainty as well. So hope that you're having a great weekend so far, and I trust that this week may be a very productive week for you, and try your best to be intentional about creating a happy mood for yourself, and also creating joy. Even if the situation may not be a positive one, try to find a happiness in the midst of it. Thank you very much, Elbas and Vera, Crystal, Natalie, and all of you for joining me today on this live. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Peace out.